Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I want to get my son inside. So, yeah, I was married to him for 4 years. So he was very like manipulative. He would want me to lose weight, but he wouldn't want me to be on a diet. Like he'd be mad if I didn't make good food for us to eat for dinner, or even if I made him something, I was eating something different. Like he was just very, very manipulative. Like, I don't know, he wanted it. I really don't understand all that. So, we had been married for about 2.5 years, about 2.5 years, yeah. And he decided to join the Marines. And so I supported him in that decision, and I was okay with that. So he joined the Marines. So he went to boot camp. And so while he was at boot camp, I lost a lot of weight. Funny how I could lose weight without him around. But I moved back home while he was in boot camp. And so I just literally, all I did was work at a restaurant. I just served food, and I didn't have like a professional dental job. So, I had a lot of time. I worked out a lot. I worked out so much. I worked out probably like 6 hours every day. And like if I ate a brownie, I would have to run 5 miles. Like I just forced myself to lose a lot of weight that way. And so when I went to his graduation at boot camp, he was like really surprised, and like everything was good. Like I had said like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you for doing this." He's like, "Well, I'm proud of you." I'm like, "For what?" Like he's like, "For losing all the weight." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." So anyways, we moved to California when he graduated, and I stayed skinny. I worked out. I didn't have to work 2 jobs anymore. I just worked 1 job, dental assisting, and he was in the Marines. So I temped around a lot, and then I found a job. But anyways, I don't even know why I'm saying all that. So I looked good. I mean, I was probably 160, and I mean, I was pretty skinny. But I still, yeah, my stomach was flat at that point. I looked good, and I didn't really have to diet. Like I just ate sensibly, and I worked out. And so I had a lot of good friends that were, military wives. That one friend in particular, we our husbands went to boot camp together, then they went to school together, MOS school in Oklahoma, and then they were both stationed in California. So we actually lived in this tiny little apartment together when they were in Oklahoma for like 4 months. And I didn't work at all there. We just hung out all day and went to go see them at night and stuff like that. So but yeah, and worked out, like, and I had a pretty good support group there, because I just had people that, were going through the same things that I was with, when they would be gone all of the weekend and all this stuff. So I stayed in shape, and everything was fine. My husband, I guess I didn't tell you this part, but he cheated on me. Not because I was overweight, but I think that had something to do with it, I guess, even if he didn't admit that. He wanted to do something sexually, which I'll spare you guys the details, that I was not comfortable with. And it's pretty much really gross. So he, 6 months after we got married, went on like a dating site to try and find someone just to do that sexual thing with outside of our marriage. And then he had an emotional relationship with a friend of mine that I worked with at the restaurant, who was like 16. I mean, we were like 19. So, I mean, it wasn't that weird hanging out with a 16-year-old, but they never like physically did anything, but it was an emotional relationship. And I was back and forth a lot from home to being we bought a house and stuff. So I lived there, but then I was at home because I moved back and forth a lot because he kept cheating on me. So, and then like right before he joined the Marines, maybe like 6 months before he joined the Marines, he physically cheated on me with somebody. And it was crazy. I remember like just finding out and I just like froze. And that's probably when I started like emotionally eating, was when the cheating came. Because before I was never an emotional eater. I mean, I would eat junky food and stuff like when I had girls sleepovers, but not like an emotional like, oh, I'm so sad, I need chocolate, So I think when the cheating started, that's really when I started doing that. And so then he cheated on me and I was literally going to get a divorce and he said, please, don't, and let's just work on this. And like, I was literally going to the courthouse. I had already filed for divorce. And he just said, please, like, he drove up there, after cheating on me and saying all these horrible things and blah, whatever. Because we lived in Milwaukee, which was about 4 to 5 hours away from where we grew up. And he basically just said, just don't, like, well, let's work on it. So I agreed to move back into our house to work on it. And, a bunch of other stupid stuff happened, but then he just joined the Marines and it was like a fresh start. Like we rode each other every day, while he was in boot camp. It was really like we were using it as a fresh start. So anyways, I remember one comment one of his Marine friends said like, oh, you're married to Jabba the Hutt because I was so fat. I'm like, I was not fat, like, when we lived in California, like, I wasn't, and for him to even, like, entertain that idea is ridiculous, so, and I just noticed, like, now, I mean, just thinking about all this stuff, like, what a difference to have a supportive husband. Like, if someone said that to my husband, first of all, he doesn't hang out with total a-holes that would say anything like that, but if someone said that about me to my husband, he'd be like, excuse me, you don't talk about my wife like that, like, and that's what my ex should have said, like, it's just such a difference. But anyways, sidebar. So yeah, I remember that comment, and he would say things to me. I mean, I'm never gonna be like this skinny person. I'm an athletic build, and I like my body the way it is, when I'm toned and when I don't have a bunch of extra fat. Like, I'm fine with having, large shoulders and just muscular arms and, muscular calves and stuff. Like, I don't have a problem with it. So anyways, I found out he was cheating on me when we were after, like, that was the fresh start. Like, okay, we're not going to talk about anything in the past anymore. We're just, So anyways, we ended up getting divorced and kept the weight off pretty much until my next emotional problem has been with my miscarriages and not being able to get pregnant. So I've already talked about that. And I guess it just makes me feel like my body's broken. Like, why can't I get pregnant? And doctors can't really explain it. We've done a few tests, so they say I might have PCOS, but they won't definitively diagnose me with that. So PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And basically what it does is, like, you're not ovulating. You are not ovulating at the times you should be ovulating, or you're not ovulating at all, even if you're having, like, a period. And so PCOS, it really messes with your insulin response as well. So it's like a hormone disorder that really messes, like, with your sugars, and it's like if you don't get it under control, it'll lead to diabetes. So I had my sugars checked and they were okay. They were in the okay range. They were normal. And so they were not over the, like, pre-diabetes mark or whatever. But I have other things. I have like facial hair is a big sign or symptom. Symptom. I don't know, of having PCOS. And so I have that. I have acne. Like, I have adult acne no matter what. Like, it really sucks. I hate it, but so I have these scars all over my face. And it's not like it's not cystic acne, and it's not like normal acne. Like, it's like I get these huge like boils on my face, but I don't have cystic acne. Like, you know, you could see if I had that, but I don't. I don't have like the dark red scars that like never go away. I just have these scars that, you know, stick around for a while. And this is a curling iron burn. Anyways, so I have those things, and I gain weight incredibly fast. So I'm pretty positive that I have it. And I think that the fact that, you know, I do so well on low carb is another sign that I probably do have it. They put me on metformin, which is a diabetes medication, but they just give that to you because it's supposed to help. Even if you don't have the sugar issue, it's supposed to help like the hair and the acne, which it didn't help any of that, but it did regulate my periods to 28 days exactly, when I had been, you know, 29 to 32, not very consistent all the time. Which actually, before I did HCG, it was like 40 plus days. HCG, like, I think cured like my, you know, not cured, but really, really helped my hormones. So I did get pregnant on around about a year and a half ago, and I lost the baby. Sorry guys. I think I was pregnant at least. It was really hard to tell because I was on around and I was taking injections, but my pregnancy test stayed positive for like 3 weeks after I stopped injecting, so I'm positive that it was, and I had other symptoms too. So yeah, that is my struggle. And as I said in the start of this round, I'm really, really trying to and praying about just leaving it in God's hands, like not getting depressed about it anymore. I have a wonderful child. He's 5 years old. This wasn't my plan. You know, I wanted to have kids right in a row and have them really close in age, but it doesn't. I just need to live my life and stop being depressed about not having another kid. And so I'm feeling really good. When I did HCG last time, I was kind of doing it to lose weight because I thought that if I lost weight, I would for sure get pregnant. And I wanted to also lose weight before I got pregnant to, you know, so I wouldn't gain as much when I was pregnant. So I was trying to do it kind of as a precursor to getting pregnant. And my mindset is not that this time. Yes, I do want to lose weight so that if I do get pregnant, I'm not gaining like, you know, more weight, and I want to reteach myself how to eat. And, you know, when I think about it, maybe that's why I haven't gotten pregnant. Maybe I really need to get the low carb down before I get pregnant. Like, you know, and God knows that. Like, if I get pregnant now, I might blow up or whatever. And, you know, like, there's just so many variables of why I'm not getting pregnant. So many reasons that I can't see that God can. And, you know, I just really am not using HCG this time as like a precursor to I'm just gonna, you know, get pregnant soon, because I don't know if I'm ever gonna get pregnant again. And so, you know, I'm really trying to have a positive attitude about it, and just, you know, I'm leaving it in God's hands. I am not using protection. Like, you know, if I do get pregnant, I'll get pregnant like while I'm on around, when I'm not on around. I thought about, you know, using like condoms and stuff when I'm on around, but for me, like, I'm not going to waste any opportunity to get pregnant. And I'm taking my vitamins, my folic acid, and, you know, if I get pregnant, I get pregnant, and I'll stop eating 500 calories and I'll start eating low carb. You know, I don't think, it's not ideal to get pregnant while you're on a round, but I'm not just gonna like go. When you're trying so long, it's like really like, I don't want to use condoms. Like, I'm not gonna prevent it from happening. But there's so many things that I can't see, and I'm really just trying to have a super positive attitude about the whole not getting pregnant, or even if I do have another miscarriage, like just work through it and not turn to food as like my comfort, because that's what happened. That's why I gained this weight back that I lost on HCG. I just let my comfort become in my food, and because I feel like that's the one, that's one of the things I can control in my life is what I can eat, or, what I can treat myself to. And so, and I'm not going to kid myself. Like, it's hard to live this way. It's hard to live with no sugar and no carbs. Not only because it's hard, but it's also, people will buy you stuff, let's go out for ice cream, or, my boss will get us like gift cards just to Dairy Queen once in a while, or, like Yogurt Lab. And it's like, thanks, I can't really use this. But, if I didn't ever have to go out to eat, if I didn't ever have to socialize, it would be super easy for me to live this way. But since there are so many things, you go over to somebody's house, they don't make you a low carb meal. They have spaghetti and meatballs, that are made with breadcrumbs, like, and the sauce probably has sugar in it. It's just like anything. It's just really, really hard. But I really want to make this a lifestyle change and really, stay positive through it all. So I'm sorry I rambled on so long. I mean, I hope that some of you can relate to some of the things that I've gone through with food. I still get like these weird feelings sometimes. Like my sister the other day, she just looked at me after I'm telling her, hey, I just lost 25 pounds in my first, back on HCG round. Like, everything is going well. And I was telling her that I was like reloading for my next round. And I'm like, I couldn't even eat very much because I was so full. I don't know if my stomach just like, can't take as much food anymore. And she was like, hey, have you ever thought about getting your stomach stapled? And I'm like, what? Like, I'm not that overweight. I mean, maybe I am. Maybe I don't see myself. So then, that really kind of stressed me out for a few days. I'm like, getting my stomach stapled? Like, why would she even say that? My sister puts her foot in her mouth all the time. So then I asked her a couple days later, I'm like, hey, am I like way bigger than you think I am, or than I think I am? Am I like super huge? Like, am I like morbidly obese? I mean, I don't think I am. Like, the numbers aren't morbidly obese, but she's like, oh no, I just meant like you and I both, like, we're just so addicted to food and, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, stomach stapling wouldn't help me there. That would just, make it so I couldn't eat a lot. And then eventually I'd just stretch my stomach back out again. So if that was the true case, so I'm just like, wow. I don't know. Like I said, my sister puts her foot in her mouth all the time, but it was just kind of disconcerting. So I will have to work through comments like that and just not let them get under my skin, or, not let them affect me if they're not meant to be that way. A lot of times, like with my mom, like she didn't mean to like cause me to have food problems. It just did, so it's just a constant battle. It's a lifelong thing. So I know you guys know what I'm talking about, but I hope that, this would help somebody. If it's super long, so I wouldn't expect everybody to watch it and some people to turn it off halfway through. But I think it's just great for me to make this, and I can look back at it someday if I need to. So I've actually been watching some of my old vlogs, and it's been helping me. I do see that my face was a lot skinnier before, so that's something to look forward to. I'll have to look back at my numbers, but I think like I lost maybe 50 pounds, maybe like 45, 50 pounds. So I should be back at that spot. Sooner or later, I'm over halfway there. So we'll see what happens. And I'm super excited. I'm excited about the protocol. I'm excited about everything. So I hope you guys are enjoying your day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.